Krista here with Little Salty Homesteader. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This isn't really a how-to video or planting the garden video today. Today's video is kind of discussing where my head is at regarding the fall/winter garden and what I'm going to do with this flower bed and things along that nature. So let's get into it, I guess. I know that it is only April, so it seems really silly to be thinking about the fall garden. But here in North Texas, because the winters are relatively mild, we can garden pretty much year-round with little to no protection over our garden spaces. We probably get 1 to 2 really deep freezes that will require protection, but other than that, most of the winter grown crops can just be left to their own devices outdoors. The reason that I'm thinking about it now already is, one, I'm always looking to the next season, making sure that I am as organized as I can humanly be, because you never know when the caca is going to hit the fan in regards to your life and stuff. So I try to have a plan in place so that whenever it is time to start planting things, seed starting, transplanting, I have a schedule in place and I know when I'm going to be doing what. The other reason that I'm thinking about it now is because depending on what I decide to grow in terms of a fall garden, I may have to start some of those seeds as early as mid-June, early July. So I need to make sure that I have those seeds, and if I don't, I'm able to procure those seeds in time, and then make sure that I have a good solid list of the things that are going to be planted in my growing spaces. The things that I feel like I'm going to be growing in the fall aren't really much different than the stuff that's going now. These peppers are going to stay until the killing frost kills them off. The tomatoes, I'll probably start to either cut back and see if the new growth will develop any tomatoes, or I'll just remove them completely, depending upon how sick they're going to get. Because Texas is so humid and goes through drought periods in the summer, and spider mites really just start to cause a lot of problems. The plants themselves may just become too diseased and I'm just gonna yank them. We'll have to see. But the other things that will get transplanted out during the fall to grow over the winter are going to be those cold weather crops that you typically are able to get in the grocery store a lot less expensively. So they're typically called cold crops. They're brassicas, root vegetables. So think of your broccoli, your cabbages, kohlrabi, collard greens. Sorry, I have a list here because I have kind of been in planning mode. Like I said, looking towards that next season, making sure everything is planned out and solid and ready for me to tackle, divide and conquer. So cabbage, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, kohlrabi, kale, rutabagas, those are all things that I will start indoors. I'll have to check the dates, but I believe it's early July, and then it will get hardened off, and then it will be transplanted into the garden probably in September, I believe. And then the things that will be direct sown into the fall garden will include things like purple sprouting broccoli. From what I understand, that does better just direct sowing it, and it does require the cold period of winter in order to create those flower heads. The broccoli is technically a flower head. So the purple sprouting broccoli, beets, carrots, rutabagas, turnips, radishes, those things. I may experiment with seed starting the beets this year to see how that goes. I haven't had the best luck direct sowing, so maybe I will try starting them indoors and then transplanting them out. Carrots definitely do not like to be transplanted, so I will just direct sow those into the garden. I do also have some sweet pea varieties that are more like a bush and less vining, so I plan on planting those in the fall as well. I would also like to incorporate a few flowering items to get some color in the garden and some life, and you know, we do need to feed those pollinators that happen to come out if there is a good weather day during the fall and winter. So I'm going to be looking for seeds for violas and pansies. I also plan on planting some new snapdragons and then some asters. Those are going to be planted within the food garden spaces, so all of those raised beds. And then this flower bed right here, this is going to be the one that I've actually been thinking the most about. Currently, it has a lot of stuff. It has a lot of flower stuff growing in it. A lot of zinnias, it has snapdragons, cosmos, a few perennial items, some spider lilies that I received the bulbs from a friend. Those are coming back. Sorry, I'm just trying to look and think at the same time. So what I'm thinking that I want to do, because this area tends to get overrun with weeds. Right now I have the cedar mulch on it. I plan to continue with the cedar mulch program for the duration of us living here. One, it will contribute to soil health as it breaks down. Two, hopefully it suppresses some of that weed pressure. And three, it just looks kind of nice. It helps retain moisture as well, even though with the clay soil, I'm not sure how much moisture needs to be retained. Granted, we aren't in the drought season yet, so we'll see how that holds up during the summer and how it helps out as far as keeping the conditions moist. But my thought for the flower bed, to kind of help alleviate some of the weeds, the weed that I deal the most with is, every time I try to talk to y'all about this, I forget the name of it. Nutsedge. It is nutsedge, and the more you pull it, the more it grows, and it is obnoxious, and I haven't figured out how to get rid of it. So I think my current plan for this flower bed, in order to not have to constantly pull weeds out, is to literally just overplant it. My husband is probably not going to like having the wild space overgrown and unruly and chaotic. It makes me happy because I am chaos. He's the calm, I'm the chaos. So I am looking into some different flowering bulbs. Right now I do have the spider lilies in there. They're a really fun addition. I'm not pulling those out. I love them. I want to get more. I'm also looking at some different irises. Hey buddy. Hey buddy. Hi. Come here. Come on. Come on, you're on my notebook and I can't read. Alright, so I'm looking at some different irises. The variety that really caught my eye is called Dracula's Kiss. It really matches my cold black heart. I will put a picture of it because it's so beautifully stunning. I am looking for really unique, really striking, really just eye-catching varieties of irises and gladiolas. So if you know of any, please drop them in the comment box so I can go look them up, put them on my list. I am also trying to make sure that there's different flowering things at different times of year, because right now there's not really a whole lot that's in bloom in there, and it's just kind of meh, you know what I mean? I do have the snapdragons and the cilantro, which is really stunning and it's so much fun to look at. But I want, you know, in the early spring, I want to see daffodils, and then I want to see the crocus. I specifically want to get the variety of crocus that saffron is harvested from. That way it will be a dual purpose crop. One, it will make me happy to see it visually, and then two, I won't have to spend money on saffron, which is great. So daffodils, gladiolas, iris, crocus. Something else that was really interesting and caught my eye was alliums. These are bulbs that are in the same family as garlic and onion, but they aren't actually garlic and onion, and they have flowering heads in really striking colors. I saw purple, I saw blue, there's pink, there's white, and the flower heads are round and really cute, and the flowers are really small, and it makes like a tight little ball. So I thought that was really interesting. Obviously more colors of spider lilies. I also would like to be able to plant petunias back here as well. I'm going to attempt to start them from seed late in winter so that I can transplant them in the spring. But you know, I have petunias planted in the front, but we bought them at the local nursery. They're beautiful and they're big and they're vibrant and they're fun. And I want to bring that same fun back into this back flower bed, especially for like the early spring and stuff. So I already talked about the violas. It would be really neat to put those in the flower bed as well, so that, you know, you just have different happy spots of color throughout the year all over the garden. I have a list of companies that I'll be able to procure some of these bulbing flowers from, and then obviously seeds. I have a running list of companies that I purchase seeds from all the time. But like I said, if you guys know of any really interesting, striking, eye-catching, unique gladiolas or irises, drop their variety names down below so that I can go check them out. I tend to gravitate towards like the bold, bright colors, or like super dark colors. My husband likes the happy colors, so he always points out purples and pinks and, you know, really bright, happy colors, and I'm like, ooh, there's black. And over the fall and winter, in order to kind of assist with soil health in this flower bed, because it's still pretty poor, it is very dense, heavy clay, I am going to also be growing some cover crops in here. So while I won't have a whole lot of flowering stuff in it this year, probably, I am going to be growing crimson clover. I have a Takayun buckwheat, which is a Japanese variety, and it has little pink flowers and it's super cute. If I have any bush beans left after I'm done growing them for food for this year, I'll throw them in there just as a nitrogen fixer. I'm going to throw radishes and mustard greens in there. The reason that I'm going to throw radishes and mustard greens in there isn't necessarily for food consumption, but because they are tap roots, they're going to help break up some of that clay, get some airflow in there, help other things be able to grow a little bit easier. So that's kind of where my head is at in terms of the fall garden right now. Yes, it's only April, so I'm probably going to change my mind 52 times. That's why I write it down in my journal so that I can, you know, refer back to it, cross things out, add things to the list, all of those different things. But in terms of the flower bed, I think that the plan that I have makes the most sense in terms of reducing the weed pressure, improving the soil health, and increasing the amount of color that's available year-round. If you guys know of any must-grow flowers that I need to put in this bed, whether it's a bulb or a seed, go ahead and drop those in the comments as well. I have a running list of things that I want to procure, so if I find it interesting or beautiful enough, or if I do some research and I decide, yes, I absolutely need to grow that, I will put it on my list. I got a list, y'all. So that's, I mean, I didn't have a whole lot today, but I did want to kind of talk through all of my rambling thoughts with you guys, because I'm always looking for advice, looking to know if I'm headed in the right direction here. Do I need to like change the way that I'm thinking about this flower bed or what? But thank you guys so much for watching today. If you did like this video, even though it wasn't really like instructional or anything, please feel free to like and subscribe and do all those YouTube-y things. And until next time, go find a way to get those garden manicures. Bye!